Black Moon Lilith.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sonya Lee.
And I'm Eric Thomas.
And this is Cosmic Slop Radio. And today is August 22nd, 2014. So, what'd you do on your summer vacation?
The world has been entirely different since the full moon in June.
Yeah.
My entire world has changed.
That's crazy.
Everything about it has been amazingly transformational.
Wow.
I'm more peaceful than I've ever been, but I've got more I got a little restlessness.
Uh-huh.
It's good to have a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, and if you don't have a little bit, then you're not tapped into the collective, because I think the collective is incredibly restless and anxiety-ridden right now.
The
and
world
for good
is
reason.
in turmoil. It's
Yeah.
unstable at every level.
Yeah, and yet we don't let those distractions get us, do it. I know for me, the month of July, I work so much, I don't even know what happened in the month of July before I knew it was time for school to start again. So, you know, we haven't been around for a little while, but we come back and it's like, whoo, what a ride. Was that an e-ticket? I think it was an e-ticket, right. So we want to talk a little bit today about the astrological things and what our own personal experiences have been, what we're seeing out there in the collective, how to navigate through it all, and as be the light bulb to coin Kaipacha, which we'll talk about that a little bit later too. So,
Well,
where do we begin?
I guess we begin with the universe. And what in the hell's the universe been up to? What you help us understand what's been happening.
I had to write it down because I can't keep it all in my head. There's so much. But the biggest aspects that I'm seeing right now is, okay, we have a new moon coming on Monday in Virgo. And all you Virgos out there are going to be really happy because this is a get down to it kind of new moon, which is good. So, you know, the new moons are about setting our intentions, planting our seeds. And this one is really about looking at the first 7 months of this year. And where are you? How much have you changed? Have you changed? And what are you going to do moving forward through the end of this year? Because I don't know about you, but for me, what my intentions were that I set at the new moon on the new year, January 1st, are almost either completely done or no longer apply because I'm in a different space now.
Yeah, in the last show we talked about that mid-year review, and now a few weeks after that and reviewing things and what's changed. My core list has been, a lot of it's been fulfilled.
Yeah.
And is continuing to be in a very blessed way. And like you said, some of it's like, okay, well, I'm going to let that one go because you know what? These other things have opened up. And what's presented itself to me is the path I should follow versus trying to force something in.
Yeah, yeah. And then like you said before too, being in a completely different space. Sometimes, you know, when you allow yourself to be open and do the work within, so all work is mirror work, right? So what's going on inside of us is a reflection of what's going on outside of us and vice versa. So when you start doing that work and making that shift, then your outside world changes because your inside world's changing. And for some of us, it's been about having a completely our slate wiped clean. And now we're working with a blank slate. Can be a little scary sometimes when you're not quite sure. You know, some people might call it having the rug pulled out from underneath you. Some people might call it as, you know, having a new pad and a pen. What are you going to write? What are you going to create?
Well, how are you going to process or see what you have first? Because that tends to dictate the path we'll take.
Absolutely.
Our perceptions are kind of set our intentions about what is real, and our beliefs then kind of reinforce it, and then boom, we're off on a path. And you know, right now, I mean, to be honest with you, it'd be easy to kind of be panicky about where I am.
Sure. I mean,
But what would it get me?
Well, yeah. And I mean, there are some people that are often use their get out of jail free cards, and quite frankly, who can blame them? We are absolutely in a pressure cooker right now.
Sure.
But if you can just hold on, one of my favorite REM songs is Everybody Hurts. You know, hold on, because this pressure, right, creates a diamond, and that can be a really wonderfully authentic life. But like you said, you got to go through some steps first, because you got to understand the process, understand what you're going through, be aware of what you're going through and why you're going through it, and being still, because I truly believe that right now we are in a place of moving through our life, not intellectually, but intuitively. We take a step, we make a choice, and then we wait, and we connect, and we become aware, and then we make the next step or the next choice. And this is moving through your life with purpose instead of, and consciousness, right? Because when you're up in your head all the time with all those crazy thoughts, are you even aware of what's going on around you?
Well, in my personal case, so I do spend a lot of time in my head. I have an incomplete picture of what's going on with me because I'm not bringing in my heart to counter and to counterpoint my head.
Yeah.
My head's full of all kinds of things at any given time, unless I'm in meditation. Then it's full of all kinds of other things. But it's bringing in that complementary pair of the head and the heart that can give you the greater perspective of what is going on and how it influences your life and how to move through it. How to manifest with clear intention to bring in the new job or a new space or a partner or whatever it is you're looking to manifest in this space here. But I know a little bit about this new moon coming up. Mm-hmm. There's like a window to wait that's more optimal.
Well, yes. Now is the time to kind of set the intentions and get clear and start to plant the seeds, if you will, of what it is that you want to create. But we've got this conjunction with Neptune right now too, and because Neptune can be a bit of an illusion, or very dreamy or fantasy, or whatever word you want to insert in there. You want to make sure that you take a little bit of time to get on the other side of this, which will be probably somewhere around, probably after the full moon, which is going to be in Pisces, which is going to be an amazing, amazing moon. So if you're looking at career and money and things of that nature, then, put off until after that, after about, the second week of September to really activate, right? So create and blueprint or spitball or formulate
out an intention.
What you want.
That's what I'm doing right now. I got some wise advice about that from someone, and he just said, look, just come up with your ideal situation.
Yeah.
Take your time and be articulate. Be filled with it, Why not aim high?
Yeah.
Why not set the intention for the highest thing? Take this time right now to create what you're looking for. If it's a job, my personal thing, I'm looking for a job. I got a dollar amount in my head, and I have a schedule and how I would like to see it work, and why not?
And if you're looking for a relationship, there's a lot of soulmate connections that are happening right
Think
now.
of your ideal mate.
How about instead of thinking about who's coming to you, think about who you're going to be.
Who are you offering?
And what are you offering to that person, right? Because
Yeah.
there is someone out there that's looking for someone, and perhaps if you put your resume out there, then they'll find you, and you won't have to go looking for them because they'll come find you, right?
So be careful where you apply.
It's the spiritual dating service. But Jupiter is really playing with a lot of planets right now, and Jupiter is a planet of expansion, and it can expand good things and it can expand bad things. But the point is that it wants you to look at your life, and Jupiter's about faith. So look at where that is in your natal chart, and that will tell you the house, the sign that's there, and that will tell you what it is that you need to work on right now and what you are working on right now, whether you're aware or not. The other thing is we've got this Mars, which is conjunct Saturn in Scorpio, and so things are very doom and gloom right now. Things are not a whole lot of fun. A lot of people are kind of freaking out, and again, knowing where you are and not being drawn into the drama or distracted by it, you're going to be able to do the things that are for your highest and best, but you're also going to be, as our mothers used to see, setting the example for everybody else.
And what you're describing is the Hermetic principle of rhythm. And things move through these rhythms and they sweep through with the time. And you know what? When you get to the other polarity, step off.
Yeah.
When you get to the spot where you're good and you can let go of things, you step off and let that pendulum swing back to the other polarity, which it needs to do, because everything's in motion. Doesn't mean you got to go for the ride.
Yeah.
And this is where your practice pays off. This is where you can learn to get the stillness to, you know what, I'm going to step off that. And my favorite saying of late, man, not my circus, not my monkeys.
I love that.
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
And you just step off and you let the crazy horse ride itself back to the polarity, and it will come back around and you can step back on.
You know, and the whole key focus here is just to keep working on you. Just to keep dealing with you and let everyone else deal with themselves. Mm-hmm. And as you continue to perfect yourself, and it's not about perfection.
Well, you're perfect as you are, yet
yes.
there's always a place to expand into that keeps that perfection.
The growth process is never ending.
A blob is a blob in any configuration.
That's right. And it was the non-Newtonian fluids that I did with my son a few years ago, you know, and it can be very liquid or boom, it can be very hard.
Viscosity.
Yes.
With pressure, yes.
And so as we're going into this new moon and as we're dealing with all of these planetary alignments that are going on, you know, Venus and Jupiter and then coming in and conjuncting, you know, Lilith and, you know, and we've just come out of, you know, Leo, and as we're moving into Virgo, and, you know, it's all about opening your heart, and it's all about having unconditional love for yourself, which then goes back to working on yourself. You're beginning to see how this is, you know, not so much a sequential or a linear thing, but more of like a holographic, right? Multi-dimensional thing. So when you work on yourself, you help everyone else. I know you help me a great deal when you work on yourself. As that it makes it easier when I encounter you out on the street.
Amen, my friend. Amen.
So, open your heart, deal with the areas in your life where you experience self-rejection. And
yeah, open your heart to yourself.
Open your heart to yourself.
Open your heart to yourself, because that's really the only place you're going to be effective in doing any work that will bring that out. It will radiate out from you. It just will be.
Yeah.
It's that inner stillness. You know, in Buddhism, you know, there's the peace in the heart, peace in the home, peace in the home, peace in the village, peace in the village. You get to the planet. We're a planet that needs some peace.
Yeah.
And it really does begin within, finding your own internal peace.
It does. It does. And I find too that, you know, when you love yourself, it becomes, and you're at peace with yourself, it really does become much easier to love others. Because any judgment, any rejection of anything or anyone is really, again, we're back to that mirror. It's a rejection of ourselves. So what you see in the outside world that you don't like or that makes you angry, and these are all things that we've been working, or that you do like, know that that is a reflection of what's going on within you. So, you know, these aren't just words of, oh yeah, let's do this. Let's look at why this is a good idea, how it helps, and how it can create more peace and love in your life for yourself, so that when you understand why we're sitting here doing what we're doing today. Because this is our gift to the collective in saying, hey, your life doesn't have to suck.
No, it doesn't.
It can be all those things that you hear people, and it's not a bunch of smoke being blown up your rear.
No,
it's real.
I live it
and
every
authentic
day.
every single day. Does that mean that every single moment of every day means that we're just, you know, pissing rainbows? No. I had to say it.
I love that.
It means that no matter what's going on in our life, whether it's good or bad, we know that we will navigate through the waters.
Well,
we have that faith.
Because you've had enough rainbow moments to know, like, you know what, this too shall pass. This is a transition and not an end game.
And even in the crappiest of moments, there's purpose. Yeah. It's not just random. It's not victimization. It's purposeful. It's for your spiritual growth and development. It's to learn how to love yourself. So the more that you can see this, the more you can believe this, and the more you will embody this, and the more you will be that shining light for everyone else. So there.
So there.
So
that
there.
sums it up. Now go out and be bright, and everything's fine.
I love it. But I do want to share with them just a little bit of how that can happen. And
So,
you
yeah.
have a great,
So back to reality.
yes, back to reality, to go forth and keep your light shining. And here are a couple of suggestions of ways that you can do that. Of course, the first one that we have to mention, because, you know, it's how the bills get paid, you know, come and talk with us on a one-on-one. If you feel like you need that one-on-one support, this is what we do every day as we work with and help our clients.
This is coaching.
It
This
is
is
coaching.
holistic coaching.
When you go to the gym and you have the trainer go out with you the first couple of times to show you which machines to work and to create an exercise program, we're helping you to create your spiritual exercise program. We are your spiritual training coaches.
There we go.
I like
That's it.
that.
I like that. We're
So-
gonna have to brand that.
We are. All right, it's ours. Trademark Incorporated, Sonya Lee and Thomas.
But really, the thing that the thing that we're really that we offer through our services is that we live this. We've been doing it,
Yeah.
and we've done it, and I'm in.
And we're
active
still
process
doing
of
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's about kind of taking all the different things that you learn and you read about, and kind of condensing that down into, all right, great. It's all woohoo. I get it. I love all the theory. Where's my practical application?
Yeah.
How do I every day now set up myself with a little routine, a little ritual, a little affirmation, prayers, digging deeper into study of more esoteric teachings about how they, manifest
Finding
in
the
your
truth, not the religious dogma
world. Yeah.
that
how
has
do you-
created more wars than, any other group or class of humans in the history of our planet. Okay.
Well, politics gets us close.
Okay.
But what's the real
But again,
difference? It's
it
an
doesn't have the
ideological
leg. It
extreme.
doesn't have the legs necessarily, though. But yes, it all stems.
There are
politics,
ideological
religion.
extremes that take us down a path that's destructive to us as individuals, as a collective, and as in our case, I believe, as a species. Right
Yeah.
now. We
Yeah.
have a global. We're having a global bad day on an epic scale.
I love that. We're having a global bad
It
day.
almost just minimizes it, and I don't mean to, but at the same time,
but at the
again,
same time, it's a distraction. And if you allow
Well-
yourself to be distracted by that and get caught up in that, in as much that you step off your own path, then you're not doing your part to help the collective.
Well, see, I believe it's not a distraction. I believe it can be used that way, but these are real sufferings and real consequences of us failing as a species to politically, through our religious beliefs, through our economic policies, through our foreign policies, to create a sustainable human species.
No, I agree with you. I'm talking about getting caught up in it.
Right.
Is what's the distraction.
And this is where you step off and you let it swing where it has to swing and do what it has to do, but you don't ride that.
That's right.
It's not my circus, not my monkeys.
That's right.
Not in a way of disrespecting the situation,
No.
but staying in a clear space to make change to the situation.
It's
If I get lost in all that and I want to go and march in the streets and loot and destroy things, or if I got to run for my life because an oppressive government is coming after me, which in these cases aren't really that different, I can't get wrapped up into that. Gandhi was pretty clear about it, right? Martin Luther King was
Yeah.
pretty clear about it too. We don't get what we seek when we join their fight. We have to rise above it and change the consciousness of the fighters. Change the warriors from boots on the ground in the streets to in the ballot boxes, to in the pulpits, to in the newspapers, into media. And we need to change the message of this planet clearly and simply. And the only way we can do that is when we change our internal message. When we find an inner peace and a calmness in ourselves that we can take into these situations and affect a change.
That's our message.
So breathe. How you do that is you learn how to breathe.
And follow the breath. You want to quiet the mind? Follow the breath.
Every time it comes away and it drifts off into some idea, bring it back to the breath coming in through your nose and out through your nose, and you're successfully meditating.
And that's it.
Meditation's got a bad rap. It's got this, stereotype of you got to sit perfectly still and for a half hour or longer not have a thought, and it just doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way.
And it's not going to.
And
be
the
that
more
way.
the higher we vibrate, the less it is. But here's the thing. when you, just like any sort of exercise, when you have this practice and you become stronger and you become more toned, you can then begin to not have to apply so much focus. You begin to understand and identify and discern ego from divine source, from higher self, from whatever, so that now no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, when you hear that voice, or you have that feeling, or you have that knowing, because we all have different ways of interpreting this, you know what it is. You can trust its authenticity because you've allowed yourself the opportunity to discern what is what.
To learn how to listen. How I sum up what you just described is you get to learn what's God and the universe chatting with you and what's your own bullshit. And then you can call yourself on your bullshit, and then you change your life.
And then no matter what you're doing, whether it's washing the dishes or mowing the lawn or driving home, and how many of you drive home from work at the end of the day and you think, how the hell did I get home? That's an altered state of consciousness. That's all we're talking about here. Finding an opportunity to get out of here and into here, yes, I'm pointing to my heart, and finding the truth. And the truth that's for you, because my truth may not be your truth, but our truth together is the truth.
And our common truth is of love and compassion and kindness.
It really is that simple. And it's
tough.
doable.
It's tough to do, but it's doable.
It's doable.
And the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. If you go to the gym once a week, you get certain results. You go 3 times a week, you get certain results. You
That's
go
right.
5 times a week, you get certain results.
And you don't have to spend a whole lot of time in it. I've been seeing studies where they say that shorter, for some people, because of course everyone's different, right? Our body morphology is different. Some people do well from short bursts of high heart rate activity. Others do better through endurance activities. Everyone's mileage may vary, but the point is there's no excuse anymore to say I can't do it. It's that I won't do it, or I choose not to do it if that's kinder for you. The fact is there is no can't.
Or rephrase what you believe is to be done. Again, if your
Yeah.
if your understanding is that meditation means you sit perfectly still and don't think, let go of that. That's a horrible idea. Just to be in judgment for a minute. But because what it does is it actually masks the beauty of learning how to be still with yourself.
What was the story you told me about what you gained from the Buddhists, about what you gained from meditation?
Somebody had asked the Buddha, what did you gain from meditation? And he said, I've gained nothing. He goes, but I've lost anxiety, fear, frustration, an unclear mind. It's about letting go. It's about not juggling things in meditation. It's about just letting them fall to the ground.
We hang on to everything, from our belongings to our loved ones to our ideas, and it's time to start letting it go. All of its baggage.
Well, the way we interact with it certainly is. There's some loved ones I don't want to let go, but I would certainly like to interact with at a different level.
Well, sure, and even
that's
you.
about being still to learn the difference.
Sure, but even you have shown me where ownership of, like, my children, for example. You consider it mentoring. I consider it. I carried them. I birthed them. They're mine.
I'm here to teach them how to go out and do the thing that I want to do.
Tomato, tomato. The fact is that we really have the same intention, though, which is just unconditional love. And so you can find that too. It doesn't have to look exactly like the way that he sees it or the way that I see it, but you need to find a way to see it.
It's a spectrum.
And you can't, and I am going to say this, I reject that there's nothing that you can do if you choose to do nothing.
What?
Yeah, people say, well, what can I do? One person can't change something. I reject that.
Yeah.
Because you choose to do nothing.
Well, you only
So
have to
how do we
one
know?
thing.
How do we know what would have been the outcome? We never got to see that reality because you chose to not be in it. So,
But at the same time, like when you're out in the world and you can tell people aren't choosing to be in it, they still influence it. You're an influence no matter what you do.
well,
It's my old Rush song, you know. If you choose not to decide, you still
Well,
made a
that's
choice.
true. You have made a choice.
Hmm?
My thing, though, is, well, we're not going to go there. So,
That's another show.
yes, it is. So, for today's show, we
Sure.
ask you that as you go into this new Virgo moon, which is, not without responsibility, and getting things done, it's also, though, about divine timing. So, it's not so much about acting as it is about getting clear
Right.
and setting the intention and knowing through divine timing when to act. So I hope that you will take some of these things that we've talked about today, apply some of these things, find ways, find
Just
ways
breathe.
where you already enter into an altered state of consciousness where you stop the thinking and just let the thoughts flow, and have the awareness of the messages that are contained within your own divine knowingness. And if that is really just more than you can do on your own, then call us, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah, because when you start breathing and start getting that stillness, you'll see all the things that come up that you'll need to work with. And that's where we come in very handily. Is, okay, here's some techniques to work through that, whether it's hypnotherapy for reframing or releasing, if it's spiritual coaching, whatever it comes down to.
If it's reflexology, we
Right.
work all three, the spirit, the mind, and the body.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for today. We're a little bit longer than usual, but we figure we haven't been on for a few weeks, so
Been gone longer than usual.
yeah, we had a lot to catch up. So hope it's been a great summer for you. Looking forward to the fall. Things are going to start getting better, but it all begins with you. What is it you see when you look in the mirror? Because that's where your love is. I'm Sonya Lee.
I'm Eric Thomas.
Blessings.
Blessings to you.